Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuah and the truth. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and share down below. And there's a donation link for my ministry in the description box. And you can also click the same link for ordering the sheet seat. We are on the CEPHER today because I didn't get to do it yesterday. And I got to push back a little bit because Bella's in my lap. We're in 3 Maccabees 5. Then he called Sherman, who had charge of the elephants, full of rage, altogether fixed in his furious design. You can't lick the book. He commanded him with a quantity of unmixed wine and handfuls of incense infused to drug the elephants early on the following day. These 500 elephants were, when infuriated by the copious draughts of frankincense, to be led up to the execution of death upon the Yahudim. The king, after issuing these orders, went to his feasting and gathered together all those of his friends and of the army who hated the Yahudim the most. The master of the elephants, Sherman, fulfilled his commission punctually. The underlings appointed for the purpose went out about evening and bound the hands of the miserable victims and took other precautions for their security at night. Thinking that the whole race would perish together, the heathen believed the Yahudim to be destitute of all protection, for chains fettered them about. They invoked Al Shaddai, Yahuah, and ceaselessly besought with tears their merciful Elohim and Father, ruler of all, Yahuah of every power, to overthrow the evil purpose which was gone out against them, and to deliver them by extraordinary manifestation from the death which was in store for them. Their litany, so earnest, went up to Shamayim, or heaven. Then Sherman, who had filled his merciless elephants with copious draughts of mingled wine and frankincense, came early to the palace to certify the kind thereof. He, however, who has sent his good creature sleep from all time by night or by day, thus gratifying whom he wills, diffused the portion thereof now upon the king. By the sweet and profound influence of Yahuah he was held fast, and thus his unjust purpose was quite frustrated, and his unflinching resolve greatly falsified. But the Yahudim, having escaped the hour which had been fixed, praised their Kodesh Elohim, and again prayed him who is easily reconciled to display the power of his powerful hand to the overweening other people. The middle of the 10th hour had well nigh arrived, when the master bidder, seeing the guests who were bidden collected, came and shook the king. He gained his attention with difficulty, and hinting that the mealtime was getting past, talked the matter over with him. The king listened to this, and then turning aside to his quotations, commanded the guests to sit down before him. This done, he asked them to enjoy themselves and to indulge in mirth at this somewhat late hour of the banquet. Conversation grew on, and the king sent to Sherman and inquired of him with fierce denunciations why the Yahudim had been allowed to outlive that day. Sherman explained that he had done his bidding overnight, and in this he was confirmed by his friends. The king then, with a barbarity exceeding that of the farlerists, said that they might thank his sleep of that day, lose no time, and get ready the elephants again tomorrow, as you did before, for the destruction of these accursed Yahudim. When the king said this, the company present were glad and approved, and then each man went to his own home. Nor did they employ the night in sleep, so much as in contriving cruel mockeries for those deemed miserable. The morning cock had just crowed, and Sherman, having harnessed the brutes, was stimulating them in the great colonnade. The city crowds were collected together to see the hideous spectacle and waited impatiently for the dawn. The Yahudim, breathless with momentary suspense, stretched forth their hands and prayed Elohim Hagadol, the great Elohim, in mournful strains again to help them speedily. The sun's rays were not yet shed abroad, and the king was waiting for his friend, when Sherman came to him, calling him out and saying that his desires could now be realized. The king, receiving him, was astonished at his unwonted exit, and overwhelmed with a ruach of oblivion and about everything, inquired the object of his earnest preparation. But this was the working of that Al Shaddai, who had made him forget all his purpose. Sherman and all his friends pointed out the preparation of the animals. They were ready. O king, according to your own strict injunction. The king was filled with fierce anger at these words. For the providence of Elohim, regarding all these things, his mind had become entirely confused. He looked hard at Sherman and threatened him as follows: Your parents or your children, were they here to these wild beasts a large repast they should have furnished, not these innocent Yahudim, whom me and my forefathers loyally have served. Had it not been for familiar friendship and the claims of your office, your life should have gone for theirs. Sherman, being threatened in this unexpected and alarming manner, was troubled in visage and depressed in countenance. The friends, too, stole out one by one and dismissed the assembled multitudes to their respective occupations. The Yahudim, having heard of these events, praised the glorious Elohim and King of Kings, because they had obtained this help too from him. Now the king arranged another banquet after the same manner and proclaimed an invitation to mirth. And he summoned Sherman to his presence and said with threats, How often, O wretch, must I repeat my orders to you about these same persons? Once more arm the elephants against the morrow for the extermination of the Yahudim. His kinsmen, who were reclining with him, wondered at his instability, and thus expressed themselves: O king, how long do you make trial of us, as of men bereft of reason? This is the third time that you have ordered their destruction. When the thing is to be done, you change your mind and recall your instructions. For this cause, the feeling of expectation causes tumult in the city. It swarms with factions and is continually on the point of being plundered. The king, just like another Phalaris, a prey to thoughtlessness, made no account of the changes which his own mind had undergone, issuing in the deliverance of the Yahudim. He swore a fruitless oath and determined forthwith to send them to Sheol, crushed by the knees and feet of the elephants. I apologize, this is a very long chapter. He would also invade Yehudah and level its towns with fire and the sword, and destroy that temple which the heathen might not enter, and prevent sacrifices ever after being offered up there. Joyfully his friends broke up together with his kinsmen, and trusting in his determination, arranged their forces in guard at the most convenient places of the city. And the master of the elephants urged the beasts into an almost maniacal state, drenched them with incense and wine, and decked them with frightful instruments. About every morning, when the city was now filled with an immense number of people at the hippodrome, he entered the palace and called the king to the business in hand. The king's heart teemed with impious anger, with impious rage, and he rushed forth with the mass along with the elephants. With feelings unsoftened and eyes pitiless, he longed to gaze at the hard and wretched doom of the above-mentioned Yahudim. But the Yahudim, when the elephants went out at the gate, followed by the armed forces, and when they saw the dust raised by the throng, and heard the loud cries of the crowd, thought that they had come to the last moment of their lives, to the end of what they had tremblingly expected. They gave way, therefore, to lamentations and moans, They kissed each other. Those nearest of kin to each other hung about one another's necks. Fathers about their sons, mothers their daughters. Other women held their infants to their breasts, which drew what seemed their last milk. Nevertheless, when they reflected upon the help before granted them from Shamayim or heaven, they prostrated themselves with one accord, removed even the suckling children from the breast, and sent up an exceedingly great cry, entreating Yahuah of all power to reveal himself and have mercy upon those who now lay at the gates of Sheol. Next time we will be reading 3 Maccabees 6, and then I think there's one more chapter, 7 in 3 Maccabees, and then we will be moving on to 4 Maccabees. I can't remember if there is only 4. Yes, there's only 4 in Maccabees. 4 Maccabees has 18 chapters. And then after that, you guys can choose. Just let me know in the comments what one you want me to read next from the CEPHER, or I will just make a little poll and you guys can vote on which one you would like me to read next. And now is my favorite part. It's time to praise Yahuah. This one seems fitting for this chapter I just read. Seek him. Seek him, and you will find him. Knock, and the door will be open unto you. Unto you. Abba Yahuah, you are my Elohim. You give me strength, you give me peace, every day in every way. You're always right there beside me. So seek him, and you will find him. Knock, and the door will be open unto you. Unto you. Breathe your Ruach into me. Put in me a new heart. You replace my heart of stone with a softened heart. Yahushua is coming for his bride on a cloud of righteousness. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So seek him, and you will find him. Knock, and the door will be open unto you. Unto you. For Yahusha is waiting expectantly for his bride to be. Hallelujah. All praise and esteem to the Most High Abba Yahuah. We love you all with an everlasting love, as our Abba Yahuah in the Shamayim loves each and every one of us. We love you so much. Shalom, shalom. Until next time.